Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. And yes, I have my lighting, I have my fan. How you doing? I do hope you and yours in YouTube land are happy and healthy, safe and well. Right now the time is approximately 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and the date is Thursday, February 9th, 2023. The moon is waning in Libra and the sun is transiting in Aquarius. It's very airy, very mentally oriented. Ironically, some of you may be feeling a bit of a mental fog. I'm sure that will dissipate once the moon enters Scorpio. So, for those of you wondering in YouTube land, yes, there will be close-ups. So I'm going to read the Many Moons 2023 Lunar Planner article, A Tarot and Lunar Overview of 2023. But first, I'm going to have Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos, do a close-up of the gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous cover of the Many Moons 2023 Lunar Planner. And of course, as I am so happy and so fond of saying, it's prismatic. I never get tired of saying that. It's prismatic. The back is just basic fashion black. Okay, so I went to the wrong page, which is why I have my beautiful eye-clipped magnetic bookmarks. A Tarot and Lunar Overview of 2023, which was written by the Sarah Faith Gottesdiener herself. 2023 is a 7-year. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7. In the tarot, the archetypes that correlate to this number 7 are the Chariot in the major arcana and the sevens in the minor arcana. The Tower, Tarot card 16, is the Chariot's teacher card. Expect to feel this archetype's energy throughout the year as well. So this is not only a Chariot card year, it is a Tower card year. I could say more about that, but I'll save that for another, well, I'll save that for something else. Across cultures, 7 is a powerful number. From Hinduism to Islam to Judaism, there are numerous examples of the importance and symbolism of 7. This numeral is a symbol of the divine come to earth, magic made material. 7 is a number that corresponds to the spiritual structures. There are 7 chakras, 7 classical planets, meaning the planets that were only known to the ancients prior to the respective discoveries of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. There are 7 and the Pleiades are also known as the 7 sisters. In Hebrew scripture, God rested on the 7th day. There are 7 days of the week. And of course, there are planets that correspond to those 7 days of the week. There are 7 colors in the rainbow. 7 notes on the diatonic scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And 7 is the average amount of numerical information that humans can remember at one time, hence phone numbers. 7 is also a number that correlates with individuation, a process of becoming whole. One lesson the Chariot card brings is mastery through change. So those of us who are resistant to change, we can welcome change, or 2023 can be a rougher year. That's a hard choice for somebody who is resistant to change. Maybe I can convince my doctors that a Valium is medically necessary. I'll see what I can do about that. Okay. One lesson the Chariot card brings is mastery through change. One definition of maturity is letting life circumstances make you wiser and more adept, not defensive, bitter, or weighed down. The Chariot presents us with the challenge of healing through adversity, which then becomes opportunity. How we initiate, facilitate, and adapt to all the changes will determine how successful we will be. The lessons are truly going to be found in the process. What's that old expression? It's not the destination, it is the journey. And the chariot is the original journey-making machine. It's an overused slogan, but it's the journey, not the destination this year. I promise you, this is the first time I'm reading this. I honestly did not see that. As one of my favorite people, it was one of my favorite light workers would say, you can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. You will be successful when you clarify what you want to learn, heal, and experience this year. Do not get too hung up on exact outcomes and destinations. Success will come through initiating the lessons your intuition tells you it is time to integrate and metabolize. As the late and great Octavia Estelle Butler, author of, among others, Kindred, reminds us, God is change. Yes, she is. There is an idealism that permeates this archetype. A warrior has to have some kind of vision, will, and motivation to commandeer the energy it takes to facilitate profound departure. Cultivate the beliefs you need to materialize your forward movement. When chariots were invented, they were an innovation that influenced humankind's trajectory. Agriculture, migration, and war all benefited from this technology. This archetype asks us to investigate the technologies we possess, acknowledge where they aid growth or destruction, and experiment with new iterations. Anything can become a weapon in the wrong hands. Even something as seemingly innocent as a book. There are some books that I have, they would clock somebody on the head and cause temporary damage. So yes, anything can be a weapon. Be mindful of self-sabotage. Be equally aware of the gold that exists in your shadows. It's reminding me of one of the introductory passages of the introduction of The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Dr. Catherine Ponder. There's gold dust in the air. So not only is there gold dust in the air, there's gold dust in our shadows. The Chariot asks us to step up in ways that are authentic to ourselves and our needs. Once we do that, we can do that for others. Fighting for the collective, deciding which batteries are ours and which are not. Let me read that again. Fighting for the collective, deciding which battles are ours and which battles are not, as well as personality shifts, applied wisdom, and personal maturity will step to the fore in 2023. Support precedes movement. We must have cultivated refuge to rest in, literally and ideologically, as we journey down collective paths and individual journeys. What practices sustain you? What routines, art, and relationships keep you centered? One of the practices that sustains me is taking naps, reading books, especially metaphysical books and cozy mysteries. What routines keep me centered? Waking up alive and breathing is a routine that keeps me alive and centered. And of course, listening to energy healing music. Art. That's a humongously long list. Relationships is a humongously short list, which is totally okay with me. And all of these relationships are not romantic and sexual. Some of them are completely platonic and completely nourishing and nurturing for me. And I especially make mention of one of my favorite people on planet Earth, the Michelle Swan Graham, who is known as Swan of Dreamers on YouTube. Anyway, definitely one of the relationships that keeps me centered. The cosmic correspondences of the Chariot are Cancer and the Moon. Or as I would say, the Chariot card is astrologically aligned with the sun sign Cancer, which is ruled by the Moon. Without the Moon, the Earth would spin on its axis differently. Day and night lengths would be completely different, and agriculture, our food sources, would not be the same. The Moon influences all the water on our planet and offers light to the dark. The Moon corresponds to magic, transformation, transmission, cycles, the body, as well as emotional and psychic health and intelligence. Cancer is the fourth sign of the zodiac, known to correspond to home, lineage, intuition, creativity, care, parenting, and tenacity. Specifically, in traditional Western astrology, Cancer is the sign of the mother, the human mother, and the divine mother. Symbols of the moon child have been the crab, the scarab, the lobster, and the turtle. Fun fact, in the First Nation cosmology, the turtle represents Mother Earth. And to the original and ancient First Nation / Native American people, the United States of America was called Turtle Island. I love what she writes. I'm just like blown away. And when she writes Moonchild, she's specifically referring to a sun sign Cancer individual. Creatures with protective shells, able to live in various environments, also correspond to the sun sign Cancer Moonchild. The diaspora, navigation, the home within, vulnerability, self-sufficiency, compassion, and transformation from the inside out are all themes that correlate with this archetype. A sip of my glorious coffee, and then I shall resume. If you ever had my coffee, you'd never leave. The flow of lunations this year syncs up with many of the Cancerian / Chariot themes. There are 25 major lunations, one more than typical. The first half of the year could feel rockier than the second. April 2023 features a solar eclipse, and May brings a lunar eclipse during a Mercury retrograde. Mark those months for illuminations, endings, and new chapters. Which means April's solar eclipse is on the same date as a new moon in Taurus, and May's lunar eclipse is also during a Mercury retrograde, would be on the same date as a full moon in Scorpio. Those are intense. And mark those months for illuminations, endings, and new chapters. August will be a pivotal month. There are 2 full moons and 1 new moon. Okay, you know that if I didn't already know that, I'm a little behind. It is in August that our physical rhythms might also begin feeling more quote-unquote normal. Until August, our full moons take place at the start of the month, and new moons are at the middle or end of the months. In October, we'll be able to zoom out and see where our efforts have gotten us. This month will also highlight our values, as both eclipses that month are ruled by Venus. So, and I do know about the full moon lunar eclipse on Saturday, October 29th, 2023. And Taurus, like Libra, is ruled by Venus. So that is going to be one power-packed month with the thinning of the veils. There will be challenges this year. Resiliency and adaptability must be cultivated. Collective themes of the year include shedding, travel, new shells, new homes, megalomania, intentional community, new philosophical frameworks and models, individualism, self-discipline, systems thinking, boundaries, second lives, rebirth, breakups, enlightenment, risks, riddles, off-grid, solar power, religious fanaticism, war and the spectrum of warfare and violence, power, hypnosis/hypnotic states, travel, U-turns, the self, limits, intrinsic boundaries, the interrogation, I lost my place. I am so sorry, YouTube. The interrogation and further divestment from compulsory heterosexuality/patriarchy/white supremacy/colonialism/capitalism/monogamy, mindfulness and consciousness, different combinations, discipline, success, victory, mastery of self, ancestral healing, attachment styles, adaptability, resilience, somatics, trauma healing, personalized spiritual practices, cultural sea change, as in sea like ocean, climate justice, different timelines, innovation, new tools, gamification tactics, performance, pageantry, heroism, masks, ego, straw men, emergency, direct action, protests, movements, the underground, digital nomads, space travel, aliens, artificial intelligence, automatons, quantum leaps, momentum through flow and mental prowess, and graduation. Let's take a moment. I'm not going to read that again because it's a mouthful, number one. And number two, there's a lot. But I am going to say something interesting. I recently created an account on Reddit. I had never been drawn to Reddit before. And I've also been acknowledging and greeting my ancestors more frequently than I normally do. And for more than a year, I will light a candle and give them a little saucer and cup of coffee. So it's interesting. It's interesting how some of these themes have already been showing up in my life. And as far as shedding, I threw away a lot of things and put to recycle a lot of other things just within the last 2 weeks or so. And I can see that action and that activity continuing. Okay, now I'm going to resume. This Chariot year will bring up leveling, and all the misunderstandings that happen when one sets off on one's own, gliding along a different track, transportation into other realms, whether that be paradigms, consciousness levels, metaphysics, virtual realities, communities, and interests will be highlighted this year. You know what, let me minimize this for a moment because I'm realizing that it might create a problem with the camera. Okay, just in case. Thank you, Drake, for correcting me. Okay. Now, there is a loneliness and continued grief that will permeate 2023. It's important to find connection and celebration as much as possible. Divides will become much wider. Can anybody say MAGA Republicans? Oops, did I say that out loud? Why, yes, I did. The witch bitch did say that out loud. Anyway. Divides will become much wider. Those who have large, disparate networks could flourish, while those who operate in a bubble could get further fenced in. How our culture deals with conflict, harm, and accountability will be highlighted throughout the year 2023 on a wider scale, and also in our personal lives. Notice where you avoid conflict, hard conversations, and direct communication. Notice where you avoid conflict, hard conversations, and direct communication. Recalibration in those areas will lead to healing, growth, and abundance. There won't be any rewards for procrastination or avoidance this year. Grudges will only slow you down now. I have not been able to maintain a grudge since 2019, so I'm good in that area. The Chariot's many shadows will be on full display. Competition over collaboration, bullies, narcissist abuse, violence, trauma, arrogance, manipulation, or straight-up strong-arming, victim blaming, as well as victim shaming, stagnancy, ambivalent endings, burnout, individualism, extremism, the cult of personality, wasted energy and resources, profit over people, toxic productivity, I'm also going to add toxic masculinity to that, lack of criticality, unnecessary sacrifice/sacrificial lambs, staying in the past, exploitation over sustainability, conservatism, jealousy, over-attachment to relevance, hollow achievements, nationalism, recklessness, incitation or the inciting with no reasoning behind it, impatience, lack of follow-through, dehumanization, hard mentality, hoarding, tunnel vision, and narrow-mindedness. Personally, or rather on a personal level, watch out for trauma responses, knee-jerk decisions born out of fear, defensiveness, and staying in your comfort zone. Be careful about constructing a false persona or clinging to particular personality traits because you think it will keep you safe or make you important. Or falling for someone's performance or projections. Observe others' actions before believing their promises. Notice when you are out of congruence and why you are out of congruence. Stay in your lane and stay on your path, even if and when it diverts. Don't waste your energy trying to over-explain or prove yourself to others. I will admit I have often struggled regarding proving myself to others. And clearly, I no longer have that luxury as of January 1st, 2023. As Medea would say, hallelujah. 2022 brought us new definitions of success. 2023 shows us just how far those new definitions can go. Remember, you create yourself. You consciously choose your values and beliefs. You are the steward of your energy. Make your external world a reflection of your internal cultivation. Your environment and relationships reflect, influence, and support your progression. Or they don't. As far as I'm concerned, my choice is clear. I need to focus on the environment and the relationships that reflect, influence, and support my forward progression, and eliminate the ones that do not. As always, I am most thankful to the Sarah Faith Gottesdiener, Gottes, Gottess, on Instagram, for creating, offering, writing, and co-writing the Many Moons Lunar Planners. And I can honestly say that with this particular Many Moons Lunar Planner, Ms. Gottesdiener has been especially inspiring for me, and I am eternally thankful to her for that. And of course, to all of you in YouTube land, thank you so much for honoring who I am and what I do, and for honoring Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person, for my YouTube videos and everything he does as well. Thank you as always for all the likes, all the comments, all the shares, all the subscriptions to my YouTube channel, and of course, as always, an extra big and beautiful and bountiful thank you to those of you who have scheduled your sessions. I wish you a beautiful night, a wonder-filled weekend, and as always, stay tuned for the next video.